I purchased the Let's Resin Taro Box mold container and I wanted to test it out. So here's what I used. I did use Let's Resin brand epoxy resin. And here's a look at the Let's Resin Taro storage container mold. It's just a box. I did have the Resiner's debubbler though, so that's what I used. The debubbler called for 10 minutes in the chamber, but I found that it required a lot longer. You can see that my color mixing started off really well. Here's where I noticed that the volume that was called for this taro box was completely incorrect. It was roughly 8 ounces, and that was nowhere near the amount that was needed to fill both halves of this box. Okay, now these are probably overfilled, but I will tell you that these molds, this mold set anyway, takes a lot more resin than what it says because there's like a embossing on the other side that tells you how many fluid ounces, and it is definitely not correct because I had to mix up 3 batches of resin, and the debubbler took twice as long as it's supposed to. So this has been a process and will probably not come out right now because now it's probably overfilled. There's a nice bubble. Oh yeah, got some real good bubbles. Really good bubbles there. So much for the debubbling. And yeah, there's crystals in there, but that's a bubble. You can see the other ones. Alright, let's see if we can take it out of the mold. Still feels kind of warm, but supposedly it can demold when this dehydrator turns off. So this is the little, which I thought was a great idea that they included it, but it's supposed to keep the mold in shape, and I don't think it worked. Because you can, maybe you can see this is curved here. So same thing here, a little bit curved. A little bit. So this is supposed to be a top and a bottom of the box, and I don't think it's going to fit together. Oh, a nice big bubble, huge. Another great big bubble. Another great big bubble. And I did take a popsicle stick and try to slide it through the edge and all around and stuff. But so would be a pretty cute design if it worked. I didn't have all these chunks missing. What I was looking forward to about this, besides it being a top and a bottom container, is that it's supposed to be where you can make as many of the bottom parts as you like, and they would stack together and you would have one lid then for them. Maybe if I keep the lid on it as it continues to cool down. So it's like not a great fit, and again, not a great mold, I don't think. I mean, it seems like it would be, but again, trying to get into all these spaces here, even trying to do the squishing did not work. And then even on the surface, right on the surface, there's this lip under here. Did not work. Like I said, there's just bubbles all over. This is really bad here, this whole side. This down here, this whole edge. You can see pretty well. Really annoys me though. Looks like it would have been pretty cool. I mean, I can use it for myself, but it's definitely not something that could be sold. Since I did have to mix up so much resin, I did have a little bit extra, and what I did was I used some brand new Let's Resin skull molds. They came in a kit of 4 different sizes, so I used the 2 smallest sizes. I filled them up, just played around with some colors, and then the leftover from that I poured into a pyramid mold that I've had for a really long time. So let's take a look at the final results. This is the thickest deck that I have. It's the Modern Witches Tarot deck by Lisa Sterle, and it fits right inside this box. Here's the Heart of Bliss deck by Holly G. Perhaps the only deck that fits in my small hands is this Crow Redux deck by MJ Cullinane. You can find her at crowtarot.com. To wrap up my thoughts on the Let's Resin Tarot deck mold container, I think it's an okay container. I don't think it's great. There were a lot of bubble issues. You do have to use a lot more resin than it says it requires. And otherwise, you can have fun with it and make your own decorative choices that match your style. One more note is that the lid does not slide into the box the way it's supposed to. Now, as for the skull molds, I absolutely loved those. I can highly recommend them. And I paid for this myself, totally not sponsored.